with an update on a lawsuit and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, don't forget to press that like button and make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on. Making a suggestion to WWE, former writer for the company, Vince Russo, said this regarding AJ Styles and Jimmy Uso on his podcast. My answer is going to be you don't bring AJ back and you don't bring Jimmy Uso back because they have run their course. They have done everything they possibly can do. You guys have heard me say that about New Day. Following Smackdown, Cody Rhodes could be seen holding a fan's baby.
Whoa. How old is that baby? 3 months? That baby. Was the baby born here in Oklahoma City? Oh, it's a Kansas City baby? We do lots of things, but tonight, everybody, that's our baby.
I know! It could have been me!
For an update and recap on the situation surrounding the Lucha Bros and AEW, Ringside News wrote that last month, speculation arose regarding Penta's discussions with WWE, with indications that he and Fenix would only consider joining if they both received contracts. WWE showed significant interest, especially in Fenix. Corey Hayes from PWN even hinted that WWE had already secured deals for the Lucha Brothers and intended to introduce them on the main roster. However, it was clarified that the Lucha Brothers are still under contract with AEW and cannot leave for WWE at this time. We had then reported that AEW had added injury time to Fenix's contract. Fightful Select has reported that the Lucha Brothers, Penta, and Rey Fenix will remain under contract with AEW for a while longer. Earlier this summer, it was noted that their contracts were set to expire this year, with WWE expressing interest in signing them. Penta mentioned to several sources back in June that he had been in contact with WWE, indicating that both he and Fenix wanted to join the WWE main roster instead of NXT. AEW became aware of these discussions when they saw evidence of at least one of the talents considering a move to WWE. To retain the Lucha Bros, AEW offered them new contracts this summer and had plans to put the trios titles on them alongside Pac at AEW All In. However, Penta and Fenix did not sign these new deals, and sources within AEW claimed there was no discussion about leaving the company. The Wrestling Observer reported that AEW added a few months to Penta's contract due to injury time, while Fenix received an even longer extension. This aligns with Fightful's information that WWE sources were recently made aware that Fenix would not be joining the company anytime soon. Fenix had missed significant time due to injuries, being out for over 6 months between October 2023 and June 2024, along with other injury-related absences. When Penta tweeted that his presence was AEW, it was around the time AEW extended his contract. He was hoping this would prevent Fenix from being affected by the injury time as well. It remains unclear if AEW has future future plans for them or if they are currently on hold, but it's confirmed that as long as they are under contract, they are still being paid. While the motivations behind extending their contracts weren't fully clarified, AEW appears to want to ensure they get the contracted time from both talents. In wrestling, contract tampering isn't formally regulated, but tortious interference with contract can be a legal issue if it causes a breach. Adding injury time is a common practice across wrestling promotions, including AEW, WWE, and TNA. It's also important to note that Penta and Phoenix are not signed with WWE, and WWE has not officially commented on any rumors regarding them. While Ray Phoenix seemingly bid goodbye to AEW in a recent post, it has been made clear neither of them will be leaving AEW that soon. Revealing that his wife and former WWE star Cassie Lee is making plans to return to in-ring action, NXT's Shawn Spears told Chris Van Vliet, "She watches it a lot. She watches it more than I do. That doesn't mean I don't watch wrestling. It just means I'm busy a lot. I'm around. I can see a lot of stuff. Yeah, she keeps up on it. She still loves watching a lot of her friends. And she's still getting the itch, so she's already weight training, she's doing all that kind of stuff. She's getting back into the mix and things like that. When she feels 100% good to go, there's a ring close by, so she plans on getting back into it." Explaining why AEW continues to book larger venues despite their struggles to fill them, Fightful Select said, "I've asked about this a number of times and I've been given a number of reasons they book the venues they do. It's very common for music acts to book large venues and curtain them off as well. Amenities, how nice the venue is, ease of access, parking, mailing list, the ability to open up additional sections, concession staff are all reasons AEW chooses to run bigger venues." In some unfortunate news, a professional wrestler passed away, with Ringside News writing that Viking Lord Vince Austin, a veteran of the Alberta wrestling scene with roots in Atlantic Canada and considered a true legend in the Canadian indie scene, has passed away at the age of 52. The news was shared by Real Canadian Wrestling on Facebook, expressing deep sadness over his passing. RCW extended heartfelt condolences to Austin's family, friends, and fans, calling it a significant loss for the entire wrestling community. The promotion promised to provide more details as they become available. It's with great sadness that RCW has to announce the unfortunate news that Vince Austin has passed away. RCW sends its deepest heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and fans, as this is truly a great loss to the entire wrestling scene. RCW will provide more details once they become available. Austin began his career in the early 1990s in Newfoundland and Labrador, working under various names such as Blue Antares, Gordon Glenn, Mr. Wrestling number 666, Seaman White, and finally Vince Austin, the name he used for most of his career. Alberta promoter Spencer Tapley remembered Austin as a great person with a wealth of knowledge about Canadian and maritime wrestling. He praised Austin's sense of humor and his ability to bring life to every locker room he was a part of. He was such a great guy and was a walking encyclopedia of Canadian and specifically maritime wrestling, and had such a great sense of humor and lit up every dressing room he was ever in. Touching on John Cena's upcoming retirement tour for next year in WWE, CM Punk told 103.5 KISS FM, "What I love about John coming out and saying, hey, this is it, this is going to be a journey that we're all going to go on together, and this is it for me." I really like that because I think he gets to write his love letter to pro wrestling on his way out. I've always said this since he said he was gonna retire. If he wants to get in the ring with me, whether it's tag or whatever, I'd be flattered. But if I'm not part of that story, that's great too. I'm gonna be a fan just like everybody else sitting there and watching it. I'm excited to see what he wants to do. Punk then said this regarding a final opponent for Cena. You could say Randy Orton. I think some people would say me. Knowing John, I'm assuming it's going to be somebody new, someone he can hand the baton to. So it might be Gunther, it might be somebody that he has his eye on that nobody else is really seeing. You don't know, and that's what's exciting about it. While there have been talks between AEW and Fox about having programming on one of their networks, AEW star Swerve Strickland said this about the promotion's presence on major networks. It's a movie, we're about to move, we're about to get on Fox, Smackdown is leaving Fox, we're talking Fox, TNT, TBS, and Fox. We get all three of them things. Tony Khan lets me do whatever I want. He owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. Going over a lawsuit that a tattoo artist filed against WWE and affiliates, Ringside News noted that Randy Orton has been back in the fold since Survivor Series last year, but there has been a dispute over his tattoos over the past few years, as a tattoo artist filed a lawsuit against WWE. With that said, it appears WWE has ultimately won the financial judgment in the lawsuit. According to PW Insider, several years after tattoo artist Catherine Alexander won her lawsuit against WWE, Take-Two Interactive, 2K Games, and others, her financial victory has now been nullified. In 2018, Catherine Alexander filed a lawsuit claiming that the tattoos she created for Randy Orton were her original designs, and the defendants used them in WWE video games without her permission. She argued that they infringed on her copyrights by recreating the tattoos in these games. Alexander stated that she had tattooed Orton between 2003 and 2008, and the designs were recognizable to his fans. She had even applied for copyright registration for these tattoos before filing the lawsuit. In 2020, the court ruled that WWE and Take-Two had copied Alexander's work. While the court acknowledged that the tattoos were copied, it left the issue of damages for a jury to decide. The jury found in favor of Alexander and awarded her $3,750 in damages, but ruled that no profits from the video games were related to her tattoo designs. Though Alexander won the case, she did not receive a large payout. More recently, the defendants argued that the jury's damages award was speculative and not backed by proper evidence. On September 25th, the judge agreed with this argument and nullified the financial damages. While Alexander's victory still stands in terms of copyright infringement, she will not receive any financial compensation. In the judge's ruling, it was explained that Alexander did not provide enough evidence to show the value of her tattoos or any lost profits. As a result, the jury's decision to award damages was considered speculative and the financial judgment was overturned. So, while Alexander proved her case, she will not receive any money from it. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.